G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, 20 to 33, and they're saying showers today, but you wouldn't know. There's a little bit of morning mist around, but look, the sun's coming up. It's looking like it'll be a good day outside. We've had lovely clear days, but we have had the odd little scud shower come through. But like yesterday, it was just sunny, beautiful day, and Saturday was too. Through the week, this last week, we probably about Tuesday, Wednesday or something, we got 42 millimetres of rain, and yeah, look, that was just great. After watering the trees last weekend, and I'd put a bit of fertiliser around all the trees in the orchard here, and then to get 42 mil, they've got nice green shoots popping out, and it's good, but it makes the bloody grass grow. So yesterday morning, I spent the morning on the rider mower again. It's a weekly event, so we're keeping on top of it, and because we mow every week at the moment, it's sort of not hard to do it. You know, you can get around a bit quicker in probably 3.5 hours, something like that. So that's okay, but we're going. There'll be a stew next weekend, but after that I'm on the road for 3.5 weeks. Judy and I are going for a bit of a lap, catch up with a few people, and we'll talk about that later on, I suppose. But so next weekend I'd like to get all the mowing done. I'd like to slash the paddock. The paddock's getting quite high now, probably. There's places where it's 2 foot high. And yeah, just a ripper grass growing season. But before we go away for 3 or 4 weeks, yeah, I'd like to have the paddock slashed and tidy and just have the place all neat. Adele, our daughter, she's coming to manage the place while we're away and stay with the dog and feed the ducks and the chooks and all that sort of thing. And she enjoys it out here because in her unit in Bundaberg, in town here, she's only got a mobile data for her internet and things like that, and she likes to play games, you know, gaming and mucking around like that. So at our place it's unlimited internet. So yeah, she uploads all the, or downloads all the revisions and all the updated game packs and all that sort of thing, and keeps everything, yeah, any updates and that, she uploads them and plays a few extra games and watches movies on Netflix and things like that she hasn't got at her place, so she doesn't seem to mind. She's getting a motorbike service today. Adele got a motorbike licence the other week, and she's done 1,000 kilometres on a brand new motorbike that she bought, and it seems a nice little bike, a Honda 500, and yeah, she's getting out and about and quite enjoying it. She rides it to work unless it's going to rain or it looks rubbish. She'll take her little Ford Fiesta then, but otherwise, she's on the motorbike, and I can remember as a young man, Judy and I used to be into motorbikes and riding them around and buggering around. And some mornings, I was working at Case David Brown at the time. You'd come from Nambour up to Yandina, and you'd be cruising down through the road, and you'd come to the gate, and you'd think it'd just be nice to just crack her open and keep going. Yeah, just be a nice thing. I've got a little bar here with all my shit set up. So. The stuff I want to talk about. This here, that's when you live in Australia and you don't wear shirts and long sleeves and things like that. You get skin cancer in your arms. So that's dealing with a few of those. So I've got the bandages on, then a little thing to hold them in place, and this is an old sock. We've cut the bottom out of a sock to put on just to try and keep it clean, stop infection. Because of this, these are quite, they're a bit wild. Yeah, because of this, I haven't cleaned the gearbox or that out on the Massey Ferguson 20. It needs a good flush out with diesel and all that, and it's just not sensible to do this. I do have a couple of long gloves, but I haven't worn gloves in that long. They're sort of stiff, and look, it just doesn't need to be done. I don't have to risk getting an infection in there. But in talking about the Massey Ferguson 20 back end, a long-time channel follower, John Aitchinson, messaged me the other day, and he said he found with his gearboxes and that, to get all that rubbish out, he buys a garden spray. You know those pump-up garden sprays? You get them at Bunnings and places like that, and put a bit of diesel in there, and that gives you a fine mist, and you can like, I suppose it's a form of pressure clean all the rubbish out the bottom. You know, you can follow it down the back and through the pump and all that. So I hadn't thought of that. That's a good idea, John. I might sneak over to Bunnings and buy one just for that. I do have a couple of old fire extinguishers here, and the old water types that you can pump the air into and pressurise them and shoot water. And after he said about the hand pump, I thought, well, bloody fire extinguisher would do the same, but I think you'd get through a lot of diesel with the garden sprayer, just that little mist. I've just been thinking about it since he mentioned it, and I think it's a good idea. So I might. I do have an old Sparex. No, it's a knapsack spray. Yeah, not a. You just want a little 5 litre one or something like that, and a bit of diesel, flush it through, and away we go. So I'll probably look at doing that and get to Bunnings through the week if I can. I did go to Bunnings and I forgot all about it. So, hey, part of getting old, your mind goes. I don't know. It's still all right yet, the mind. I do forget shit, but anyway, I'm a busy bloke. I usually have a fair bit happening. Through the week, because I was trying to keep this clean, instead of mechanicking much, I went up the other end and I decided to do the plaques for this 3 horsepower International Famous, the 1914 Famous for the club. And I got them done. I put them on Facebook. I was just working out how to get it done. Like, I get a bit of brass and I'll sand the top off it with about 220 grit and get it nice and smooth. Then I put it in the router and I engrave the letters. But then you have to, because it's a carbide tool and it leaves a little burr there. So I thought it mightn't have been a bad idea to fill the grooves with paint, the lower parts with paint, then sand the top off and then polish it. But I found with that, sometimes the polishing buff and that would hop down into the groove and take a bit of paint. And I also found the polishing stuff discoloured the paint. It made it a little bit dark. So I put it up there one day and everyone reckoned it looked all right, but I thought it was bloody terrible. But anyway, so what I've worked out now is I do it, but I get the plaques and I highly polish them on the buff on the side of the. I've got a wire brush one side on the grinder and a polishing buff on the other, and polishing mop, I think the word is, on the other. And so now I highly polish them, then fill it in, and I'll show you. So look, they've come up beautiful. So that RC16, that's the stock number for Rum City Vintage Machinery Club, and it'll always have that number. It's going in the museum, this engine. So there's a little mark on that. Don't know what I did there. And then that's the other plaque, donated by the Truscott family in Bundaberg. And last but not least, restored by Lance and Jude. So look, they're nice. They've come up lovely now. And I haven't countersunk any of the screws, but I have been to Bunnings to buy some brass screws. And I was thinking, like, I will countersink them. But the old screws, well, I was of two minds which way to go, but you'll notice these Bunnings screws, they're Phillips head screws, and they're Phillips and countersunk. And just for period correctness, I was thinking of just putting a screw, just a dome, a pan head, I suppose, with a flat blade in it, and holding them on with that. But they didn't have any of that, and I didn't go to the other bolt place for a look. So I've bought a couple of different sizes. of these Phillips head ones, and what I'll have to do now, I imagine, is I'm going to have to countersink the plates here, and I'm going to have to get these screws and polish the top of those. So polish them to look the same as the plaque here. They look a slight different colour, but that might change when I polish it. And yeah, we'll just countersink them and have a couple of little screws holding it in place. But I probably will just put a little run of Sikaflex through the back there as well. So get it in place then. Yeah. But anyway, look, they've come up nicely. I'm pleased with them. I was thinking of putting a bit of clear across the top. I'm not sure about that yet. We'll just see how we go. But yeah, I was pleased to get that done. I was also, through the week, on Saturday I actually got the 13-inch grills painted, and I used some old black paint trying to use it up, and it seems slightly tacky after a week nearly. But on Saturday I masked everything up and I've painted all the silver, and I'll let that harden for a little while before I put it on. Perhaps when we come back from going away, a little bit of masking tape there still. Yeah, perhaps when we come back from going away it'll have all set, and I can put the grill in the 135, change that over. I've got the side bits done and the bottom bit, and yesterday I painted them Saturday, then yesterday I come to have a look at them, and I'd left them outside because, you know, I just thought, yeah, it's fine. And we got a bloody shower overnight, and I thought, oh, in the morning there was a couple of, on the side panels, it was where the water was, it was a slight different colour. And I thought, the bloody things, and the headlights, I did the headlight surrounds, and bloody things, I'll have to sand that down again and do them again, which is no big deal, it's just nuisance value. And but I popped them out in the sun. I gave them a wash in soapy water and popped them out in the sun, and the marks went away. So a little bit lucky there. When I was painting, like I got to paint outside because I don't want to paint in here and get overspray over everything. I was just painting away, got it all done, and thinking, and then the bloody wind come, and there was leaves coming off the trees and shit, and the headlights have got a little bit of grit in them. It must have just, you know, a little whirly wind or something, but you can't really notice. You've got to be feeling them to notice. So I think I'll leave it. It's very minor, but it's there. The other panels haven't. Oh, the bottom apron, if you feel under the bottom of that, you can feel a bit, but you can't see it, and it may even just polish off if I give it a polish later on, so we'll see. Pardon me. Okay, for those interested in looking at YouTube, us good-looking roosters on YouTube, a friend of mine through YouTube, Colin Taylor in Ireland, his young bloke Aaron's got a little YouTube channel going, and oh, where are we? I got all this ready, you know. Couldn't organise a shag in a brothel. Yeah, he's got a little YouTube channel called The Fergie Man, The Fergie, F-E-R-G-I-E Man, and he's put out a video, a 5-minute video the other day on the 30 weight Ferguson trailer. Now, Aaron's his name. Aaron and Colin, well, the family, I don't know who owns what, but the Colin and Colin's in the Friends of Ferguson Heritage Club in Ireland, Northern Ireland, and they've got some lovely stuff. And so if the young bloke's going to have a video working through it and, you know, explaining, you know, like he explained the tipping trailer the other day, and I think he's done an aviation cab. I didn't know the channel was going until Colin put it on one of the Facebook pages to pop over and have a look. And so yeah, he's only a young bloke, doing a bit of a commentary on it. Funny accent, hey. The fellas in Ireland, they get on to me. Oh, bloody, yeah, you got a funny accent. And yeah, so back at you. Yeah, they got a funny accent. It's funny, you watch YouTube and after the first couple of sentences, you got a fair idea what country someone's in. Well, you think you have at least. But yeah, us Australians, we sort of roll our, everyone's A and all Dave-O and all that. And yeah, the Irish have their own twirl on it. And I was listening to a bloke from Scotland the other day, and they have their own little language up there. I was flat keeping up. Yeah, they have their own idiosyncrasies, I suppose, in the English language. It didn't even sound like English, some of it. But anyway, yeah, everyone reckons us Australian fellas, we have a funny accent, and the Americans have one that is more common because we hear it more often on TV. But yeah, so anyway, go over there, the Fergie man, go and have a look. If he works his way through the family collection, there'll probably be quite a few videos. I see as of this morning and filming, he's got 90 subscribers. Jump on, give him a heap of subs, and hop in and put messages in, like just jump in and say Bundy Bear sent me or something like that, because the YouTube people, they look at the views and they look at the interaction you have with other people, and that's why I have a crew that comments on everything. Charles Hart and Jeff and other people, they comment on most things, and it's really helps. But you never know what YouTube's doing though. I get around 500 new subscribers every 28 days, every month. But yeah, lately it's dropped to 400, and then the revenue's really dropped right down. So I don't know what goes on then. Pardon me. Bit of asthma going on from mowing. Yeah, so you don't know, and you just got to chug along with these algorithms and try and do your best. If you're in it to make money, well, you nearly got to get your gear off and have fans only. It wouldn't work for me, but yeah, some people make terrific money off it, but I make a bit. And look, it does help. I'm always buying bits of gear for around the shop here, and it does help me. If I save it up for 4 or 5, 6 months, and I've got a $2,000 tractor to buy, well, it does that for me, and so it's well worth it. I'm just getting the camera organised. We're not this Wednesday coming. On Wednesday the 28th of February, we're driving out of here, and we're going down south. I think we got first night in Grafton. Staying at the pub at Grafton, looking over the Clarence River there, so we'll stay there. The second night is Tuncurry Foster down there. We've stayed there before, and last time we got a nice unit overlooking the lake. This time we're just travelling, so we just got an old motel room, nothing special. And then I'm pretty sure on Friday the 1st we're dropping into Jeff's. Yeah, we're popping in to have a look at his tractor collection, and yeah, just have a Jeff Parsons actually. We're going to pop in and have a look at his tractor collection, and yeah, just see what he's got going. Say g'day on the way through. Jeff got you remember I did a thing on the Fergie mudguards, and a bit of a special, and the Sparex mudguards, they best on the market without doubt. Then they've got a new supplier now. Well, the wheels have fallen off. The Sparex guards that have the proper rivets up the top and all that, they're really good. Well, they were really good. But under the same part number now, they've got a new supplier, and it must be Indian or Pakistani or something or other, but the quality's probably all right. It's the finish. Where they have rivets and all that, they've got bolts and different holes in the bases and all that. So I've been rattling their chain, and I know Caleb the rep, he's been around looking for guards and things like that. So and what happened to Jeff, he got 3 good ones, and we had to wait a heap of time for the next one, and the next one come through was the new order, which is junk. So we're sort of working out a plan, and because Sparex and Caleb, he's our rep, Caleb, and he was down in Melbourne. They have to go down to Melbourne for these company meetings and things like that, sales meetings and things, and he actually, for us, he went and dragged a heap of these guards out of the warehouse and photographed them, and yeah, along the bottom of them and still the bolts and all that. So the whole lot of them at the moment. Look, if you want a mudguard to put on a tractor to keep the mud off you, they are fine. If you want a tractor to be as close to original as you can with aftermarket bits and pieces, they've dropped the ball a little bit. So yeah, we couldn't get another mudguard. So what we've done, Quality Tractor Parts in Ireland still have them. So, and the price isn't bad. So we've done an exercise and we flew some in from Ireland, but we're not going to do that. The freight for 2 mudguards just to bring a pair in was $400. So by the time you buy the mudguard, then you add $200 each mudguard. Freight, that's your cost, goes up. So it's not a thing we're going to be ongoing and doing. But anyway, that's just that's just what happened. Yeah, so it's just we're trying to sort something out. We got to. I think we've got a fix, and we'll just work that out. But yeah, just a bit of a shame. They had it really good, and probably they're saving $20 a mudguard or something or other, and they've gone to something that's not quite as good. Well, it's nowhere near as good. So anyway, but they all still have the old Bearco mudguards. They have the pressed steel in the centre, one size fits all. And look, if you just want a cheap shit mudguard, they are out there. But the reason we were going for these ones, they were a dearer item, but they were restoration quality. So anyway, the wheels fall off some things, and it fell off that. So, but yeah, then we're going to Jeff's near Newcastle. We've got just below Newcastle there. We've got a little unit on the lake for a night, just to look nice. And I've got a brother-in-law. My sister passed away with cancer, and the brother-in-law's at Shoalhaven. So we're popping into Shoalhaven, spend a couple of nights with Mike, the brother-in-law, and have a bit of a catch up there. And I think he's taken us out through Goulburn to have a look at, they've got long-term family friends out there, and turns out they're tractor people. So he's taken us out there, I believe. We haven't finalised anything, but, John, one of the hay blokes, he's got a collection. I don't know if we'll get there. We'll see what happens. Jason Hare down Goulburn. I bought a lot of stuff off him, like this Magneto magnetizer off his dad, and the CAV injector tester and all the books and all that. And he's got a mate down there too, and he's saying, well, when are you coming down? And we said, we're coming down first weekend in March. But we're spending that first weekend with the brother-in-law. And he said, he's got to go to work, like he can't do it. So we're going to actually, we're going to work out a trip, and we're going to pop down there so we can be down Goulburn Way on a weekend. So so we can catch up with Jason again. We talk on Messenger and that, but haven't had a yarn to him since we bought all the stuff off him. And he's got a mate down there with a tractor collection. He said, we need to get you over there and have a look, and get you over to John's, the hay fellas, and get you over there for a look. So what the brother-in-law's organised, I don't know. We're just going to roll in, and whatever he's organised, that's fine by us. We'll be spending the weekend with him. And then, that was my phone. I was thinking the camera was shutting down. It does that on me now and then with a little beep. And then we popped through Canberra, then up at Naya, N-Y-A-H, I think it is, on the Murray. There's a new Ford Tractor Museum, Rondine Tractor Museum. We're heading up to there to have a look at that. But it's only open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday or something like that. So we want to have a quick look around Canberra, head up there to him. Then we're coming down to the Ballarat Lost Trades Fair. I'm really looking forward to that. Going to Lost Trades Fair. We've got a 2-day pass for that, so we're going to hang around there and have a look. And if the knees play up from a bit of walking, the doctors give me some painkillers. I'm not supposed to have too many of them, but have them when you need them. So if the knees play up from too much walking there, we can pull the pin and go home and rest up, and then go again the next day. And then we're in the car and we're heading up to Mildura up and see John the Tank Man, get some tanks, pick up the tanks that we're getting made for some of these famous engines that we're hoping to restore in the next so long. And then we're going to pop down in South Australia because we've never had a look at Renmark and that down there. So that'll give us about 5 or 6 days dropping down through South Australia. And then we've got to be back into Victoria, into Ballarat for the Fergie fire up, which we put a bit of money in the Bicky barrel just to help them out a bit. And so yeah, we're coming back into the Fergie fire up, have a bit of a chat to, I think Chris, the president of the Harry Fergie Tractor Club, he was telling me the other day 4 tractors, but we're having the Queensland Heritage Rally in July up in Biloela, which was northwest of us here. I'm going to take my 135 up for Chris, but Chris is going to come up and we're going to try and put a little Harry Ferguson Tractor Club tent up. I've had a yarn to the organisers and they said, yeah, it shouldn't be a worry. So we'll put a Harry Ferguson Tractor Club tent there, so if you want to come and bring your Fergie along, you're part of the club, even if you're not part of the club, just come and hang out. And yeah, the president's coming up, he's coming up on a holiday, so you got the man if you want to have a yarn about anything. I see they've got, in the latest Fergie Club newsletter, they've been donated another tractor, and they get these old tractors, and in the Harry Ferguson Tractor Club shed at Lake Goldsmith, they get the local high schools in. And usually companies like myself and Sparex and that, we donate parts. And we donated the tools and all that to get them going a few years back now. So they've got another tractor on the go, so we might hop on board there. Haven't promised them anything yet. We'll just see. We're getting my camera ready the other day and the GoPro batteries have all swelled up. So apparently it's a thing. So I've got a couple of batteries on the way. Bloody lithium batteries. They need to dig a hole and put them in, I think. Yeah, so I've got a couple of GoPro batteries coming, but I do have the DJI cameras to go for a walk around with. They're pretty good sound and things like that. So we'll see what camera gear we take. I'll probably take the drone for the Fergie fire up, just to buzz him up on the top if we're allowed to. Some areas you can, some you can't, so we'll just see. You can see the Magneto magnetizer behind me here, and last Monday after the stew, I've had a Magneto here out of a 1917 United engine I have over in the pallet racking, and last time I used it, the magnet wasn't strong enough to give us a current to run the igniter. And so I tried using the Magneto magnetizer. I took it to a rally, and just while we were buggering around, I had it on the back of the ute, and I couldn't actually get the thing to take a decent charge. So I've been doing a bit of homework on it, and yeah, I went and bought a proper compass and all that to do the polarity. And but anyway, I was talking to old blokes and that, and they say swing the Magneto from a string and hold the button on your magnetizer and it'll swing around to where it wants to be and charge it up there. So we did that. We left it all assembled to do that, and look, it worked a treat. Those who follow me on Facebook, on Lance, or Instagram, Bundy Bear Shed, I put a little clip there, and I got the Magneto after I'd played with it here the other day. I pulled it all apart and took the end float out and cleaned the carbon brushes and all that and put it together, remagnetised it, put it on, timed it up, second turn of the crank. I just wound it by hand a couple of times just to suck the fuel up, make sure it was okay. Then the second turn of the crank, or second attempt, and away she went, fired like a beauty, old hit and miss. So while I had that out, I took the time. I've got a couple of International M engines, International M types, Model M's, and they're igniter engines as well. So out of the 3 generators or magnetos I had for them, one was on 7 volts, and after rebooting it, it's up around 13 and 15 sometimes. And that's what I do to test them. Is I just put my cordless drill on low speed and pull the trigger, and I take a voltage before and the voltage after, and it went from 7 to 13, so doubled. So that should be good. I've got one here behind me in pieces, and it wouldn't take a charge at all. It's still sitting around 3, 4, 5 volts, and I remagnetised it and it didn't take it, but I can see there's a big arcing in the housing right in down deep, so I don't know whether to find another housing or whether I try and get a boring bar in, and I can actually set it up in the four-jaw probably and remachine that bottom piece with a long boring bar, but it's got to be nice and smooth. So 2 out of the 3 of those was good, but the United one was good, and the one on the 3-horse Famous is good. So now I've got it all worked out, and you tap around the top of the magnet with a piece of brass and things like that. Look, it's a good thing. Seems to be working well. I was a bit disheartened with it originally because I was trying to do what I was I was trying to do what I was looking at on the internet, and it wasn't quite working with the compass and all that. But yeah, when you just let it sort itself out and leave them together, don't necessarily pull them apart to magnetise them. There's a bit of a theory each way. Pull them apart, they're better. But I've had success in leaving them together. So pull them apart in service and put them together, then magnetise it in place. And that's what's worked for me. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this other one. We'll just see. I've got the 3 horsepower Famous carb here. I've been meaning to get to this for the last few weeks, and I seem to be running into trouble getting to it all the time. It needs a sandblast and all that, so that's a fairly clean job. I might get to that, pull the jet out and have a look, just make sure. It wasn't running very well, so we'll see. The lift cylinder out of the Massey 20 is here. You can see the bends in the bolts. I've got new short studs, but the long studs they sent, they've got a little bit of a... we had a look at the stock, and on the end that screws in here, they've got all the new ones have an 8mm hole drilled up them, and we don't know why. And I thought, well, that's only weakening it, but that's how they are. And I can't work out, it looks like a shear point, but I wasn't happy with that, so I've gone downtown, I've bought some 9/16 UNF grade 8 bolts. And yesterday afternoon I sat them in the lathe up the back, up at my little machine shop, and I put a 9/16 thread on the other end, so I've made them. So I still have to tidy that little bit of rust up in there. I have the new piston, they're the new nuts, and the new O-ring for where it seals. I have the new relief valve there, and I have the new piston rings. So we're going to put new piston rings on it and tidy that up. So I might get that done today. I've got to keep this thing clean and try not to sweat too much and all. Bloody old age. Catching up. So yeah, I'll fiddle with that, but yeah, just have a fiddle day in the shed today. I might get the grill assembled a little bit, and yeah, just let it sit until we're ready to do it. But we'll just see. I'm going to try and have a bit of a tidy up before I go away. At the moment I've got tools on the Massey 20, I've got tools on the bench, I've got tools sitting up on here. Yeah, the place is a bit of a mess. I've been getting some stuff done, but the place is a bit of a mess. So anyway, see how we go. But look, that's about it. Thanks for dropping by once again. Yeah, there'll be a stew next week, but after that it might be hit and miss, but we might be able to, well, I'm hoping to, I don't want to promise anything, put a couple of travel clips together. Yeah, just edit in the motel room and try and get a bit out. The Australian internet's bloody shocking. This new phone, it does have 5G capability, so if I can find a place with 5G, that might help. But I've got, I think on this phone alone, I've got 180 gigs of data, and it stews 4 sometimes. So we'll just see what we get up to. Yeah, if we're sitting in a motel room, we got time to have a bit of a look. I'll see what I can put out. I'll probably try and have the cameras out at the trade fair. I think that'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm really keen to get there. That was the whole part of the trip. That was the whole thing of the trip that we were getting going, getting down there. That's why we started looking, because the trades fair was on, and I thought, oh well, you know, last time the Fergie Fire Up was on the same weekend, so we went to the Fergie Fire Up, then the Begonia Festival. But this time it's on the long weekend, and then the Fergie Fire Up's the weekend after, so that might help. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Yeah, once again, I'll stop talking. Have a good week, everyone, and yeah, we'll catch up next week, eh? See yous.